أكمل المثل الآتي: جت الحزينة تفرح ما لقت لهاش منديل.
يمشي.
يمشي.
كرسي.
يمشي.
هو في كرسي بيمشي؟
أبو عكر.
ده أنا هستعمله بعد الحلقة دي.
بعد الشر.
3 مكان. 4 مطرح.
منديل. جت الحزينة تفرح ما لقيتلهاش منديل.
طب يعني هي ما تمشيش جت الحزينة تفرح ما لقيت لهاش مطرح؟
لا، بعيد. المطرح ده أساساً اللي هيحتاجه شاب أعزب أو مراهق، وبنسميه المكنة.
مكنة إيه يا سيدي؟ إيه اللي أنت بتقوله ده؟ إحنا على الهوا. مكنة إيه؟
انت فاهم هو بيقول ايه؟
إجابتك إيه؟
المنديل أوقع، لأن الحزينة هتحتاج تشرب بق ماء، فهتاخد المنديل تعمل بيه كده وبتظرف الدموع، فتعمل في الدموع كده. إيه؟
هي قصة مؤثرة بس مش دي الإجابة. أكمل المثل.
You know, there's millions.
This plant, growing in a clay pot, is called Chinese chives, a staple vegetable in traditional Chinese cuisine. Normally, Chinese chives are bright green with a strong, pungent aroma and a spicy taste. However, not everyone enjoys that intense flavor, which led to the creation of a special cultivation method involving clay pots. By limiting their light exposure, the chives cannot undergo normal photosynthesis, causing them to grow tender, pale yellow stems and leaves known as yellow chives. These chives are milder and have a less intense taste, making them a favorite for stir fries and cold dishes due to their softer texture and subtler flavor.
This man has a unique skill in the world. Watch. He starts by doing a slow-motion demonstration of what he does. He begins by rotating his wrist so that the stick he is holding ends up resting on his elbow. At that moment, he extends his elbow and continues with his movement. So far, it is not clear what is happening here, but the best part is yet to come. Now, he places the stick back in its initial position, and this is where he completes his first full turn. But as you can see, he gradually increases the speed of his movement, faster and faster, until he finally decides to leave everyone amazed with his skill. Why do you think he threw the orange object in the background at the beginning of the video? This man...
I was told that sea moss would be good for me. The first thing I thought was, you can't eat that. That's impossible. And then I heard about its benefits. It's good for...
التيشيرت ده بكام؟ تكلفته؟
التيشيرت ده لو ده لسه ما نزلش، ده اللي هو الرجالي، اللي زيه بالظبط الموجود عندك في البوكس ده بيتباع ب 400 جنيه. 399.99.
يعني تكلفته 120 جنيه؟
بالظبط حوالي 120 ل 140 جنيه. بس هي مش التكلفه بس طبعا، بنحسب يعني احنا عندنا التكلفه تقريبا بتبقى 22% من سعر البيع.
انت بتعمل 30% نت بروفيت قلت؟
بعمل 64% نت بروفيت.
نت بروفيت.
نت بروفيت، بيور بروفيت. احنا عندنا كاش فلو في البنك مرعب يعني.
برافو عليك.
If I hadn't tried it myself, I wouldn't believe that this little triangle could actually fit into the puzzle. It's said to be an introductory brain teaser, and 99% of people think it's impossible because there doesn't seem to be any extra space. But that's the genius of this puzzle's design. Let me show you how to create new space. First, I'll pour everything out and rearrange the pieces. To solve this puzzle, you need to use a mathematical principle that deals with adjusting areas or volumes by adding and removing. This principle is often taught in elementary school for basic math and geometry. Letting kids play with these kinds of creative puzzles helps develop their mathematical thinking and spatial imagination. It also teaches them that things that seem difficult at first can become possible with persistence and a fresh perspective. Now, after rearranging, we've successfully added the little triangle. If I hadn't
Because at age 5, you go to school, and school is fun because you make friends, but school is hard because they give you homework. And you start to learn a few things, and those things turn into a job. Maybe that job becomes a career someday, and before you know it, you've learned quite a few things. You've met quite a few people. Maybe you find someone or a group of people you want to spend your time with, and your life is looking pretty great, but it's looking pretty full. You see, one thing grown-ups are always good at is remembering to fill our calendars. And one thing we're terrible at is leaving enough room for wonder. To be okay with not having it all figured out, and that's all I ask of you tonight. It's not gonna take much effort, just a little shift in your perspective. But if you're willing to play, I promise you, it will be fun. But most importantly, you will find that in the midst of all that great stuff, it is still quite possible to leave yourself just enough room for wonder. And if you're willing to go on the journey with me tonight, well, then I'm gonna try to show you some things that before tonight maybe seemed impossible. Because at age 5, you go to
plaster base for such a job. Scrap pieces like this always find their logical niche. This one came from the ceiling. The curve is scored on the back, then on the front face. A master craftsman and a perfect arch.
2024 valiendo Gaber.
Plaster base for